Welcome aboard the news belt of the AM show. And kickstarting matters, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union is urging passengers to report commercial drivers who refuse to implement the newly announced 15% fare reduction. The union says commuters should take note of vehicle registration numbers and report non-compliant drivers to the police for action. Now, although the fare cuts officially took effect on Saturday, May the 24th, 2025, some drivers continue to charge the old rates, prompting the GPRTU to warn of disciplinary action against defiant members. Now, speaking earlier on Joy News Room, Public Relations Officer of the GPRTU, Abbas Ibrahim Moro, appealed to drivers to ease the financial burden on passengers.
They are not our members, or I would say members of any registered transport union. You see, those who made the laws for us always think ahead. In the statutory books of the LI-21, one of the punitive measures over there is to, especially those people. I read an article this morning on one of the social media that one driver even picked passengers halfway in return with those passengers to circle and force them to apply from this vehicle that is not going to take the new reduction fare. It's just unfortunate because these are the people whom the law says if you are not registered with any transport union or even you haven't registered as a transport operator, you are not supposed to operate. Here we have allowed these people freely outside the laws. And here they are. The law is there. We have advised anybody who refuses. Anybody who refuses to reduce, meaning he's cheating the passengers that he has taken the old fares from them. So we advise any similar case should be reported to the police. We have police all over, we have the police stations, and every vehicle has a registered number as well. I strongly believe, effective from tomorrow, we don't see different things on the road. We are not aiming for that. We are not praying that the driver only shown that I'm going to look for my daily bread out of his negligence will be arrested and put behind bars. We have been given this privilege. This law has been given to us. Whenever things changes, we have to assemble and make sure we come out with what has changed and that we want to stand on that to increase lorry fares. It's the same law which gives us this leeway. After all, this is not the first time we are reducing lorry fares. In later part in 2022, we came up with similar issue. And when that one was 15.3, we came down, reduction.
Now, President John Mahama says that for too long, the legacy of slavery, colonialism and neocolonialism have cast a long shadow over the lives and progress of Africans and people of African descent. Now, speaking in a video message to commemorate African Union Day, President Mahama, who is also the AU champion for reparatory justice for Africans and people of African descent, called on African leaders, civil society organizations, and the diaspora to come together to seek justice through a comprehensive range of measures like apologies from nations responsible for perpetrating these historical injustices, addressing the crippling debt burden, a direct consequence of exploitation and unfair trade practices, as well as returning stolen artifacts and cultural treasures.
Africans, esteemed leaders, brothers and sisters of the African continent, it is with great honor that I address you today on the occasion of Africa Day 2025. As we gather in Addis Ababa and connect across our vast continent and beyond, we celebrate our resilience, our rich heritage, and our unwavering spirit. This year, our celebration is particularly significant. The African Union has declared 2025 as the year for justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations. As the AU champion for this critical cause, I'm deeply committed to working with you all to achieve this vital objective. For too long, the legacy of slavery, colonialism, and neocolonialism has cast a long shadow on the lives and progress of Africans and people of African descent. These historical injustices have left deep scars. Reparations are not merely about financial compensation, they're about acknowledging the profound and enduring damage inflicted upon our people. They are about confronting the uncomfortable truths of our past and taking concrete steps to rectify these wrongs. We seek justice, justice that encompasses a comprehensive range of measures, including official and unequivocal apologies from the nations and institutions responsible for perpetrating these historical injustices, addressing the crippling debt burden that continues to stifle economic growth in many African nations, a direct consequence of exploitation and unfair trade practices, providing resources and expertise to empower African nations to achieve sustainable development and participate fully in the global economy, returning stolen artifacts and cultural treasures that rightfully belong to our heritage, investing in the educational initiatives to promote a deeper understanding of African history, culture, and contributions to the world. This is not a simple task. It requires courage, determination, and a unified front. It requires us to engage in meaningful dialogue with those responsible and to advocate tirelessly for our rights. I call upon my colleague African leaders, civil society organizations and youth groups, and members of the diaspora to join hands in this important endeavor. Let us work together to build a future where justice prevails, where the wounds of the past are healed, and where the potential of every African and person of African descent is fully realized. Let Africa Day 2025 be a turning point. Let us reaffirm our commitment to building a continent of prosperity, opportunity, and equality for all our people. Let the pursuit of reparations be a testament to our resilience, our determination, and our unwavering belief in a brighter future. Happy Africa Day. Let us move together, united in purpose, towards a just and equitable future for all Africans and people of African descent.
Now, the ranking member on Parliament's Environment, Science and Technology Committee, Ahmed Hamza, is calling for stronger private-public investment in nuclear research and energy innovation. He made the call during a committee visit to the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission, stressing the need for a national strategy to harness nuclear technology for Ghana's energy and developmental goals. There's more in this report.
It's a critical setback as the nation grapples with a significant loss. Speaking during a visit to the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission here in Accra, the ranking member on Parliament's Select Committee on Environment, Science and Technology, Ahmed Hamza, is calling for stronger government backing for nuclear research and innovation. Mr. Hamza said the country risks falling behind if urgent investment aren't made to support local scientific capacity and energy alternatives.
Instead of thinking about investment in the science and technology, we want the area to pay for itself just like any other area. Meanwhile, globally, world over, it takes the commitment of the government to get the science and technology area well developed. And so these are the issues that we intend as a committee to try and push. We are hoping that together we can identify areas and aggressively tackle them.
From 95 in 2022 to 78 in 2023, Director General of the Commission attributes the exodus to low pay and poor working conditions, which he says continue to drive top talent abroad.
People are resigning, so people are leaving the Commission, and not even as guided as the nuclear industry, and some are even going to the universities and then traveling outside the country for maybe better remuneration and all that. And this is affecting our activities, especially since Ghana wants to go nuclear. So it means that we need these highly skilled people around for the nuclear agenda. And if you are losing them, that is not going to help us much. So it means that something has to be done pretty fast about it so that we can retain these people or these staff in the Commission. We always say that the best way to attract people is to retain what you have. So what the people that you've trained over the years with the skills that they have acquired over the years, if they are leaving your Commission, then it's worrying. And we have to do something about this.
The committee's visit forms part of its oversight responsibilities of assessing ongoing research projects at the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission and engaging with scientists on the challenges they face. For Joy News, Stephen Mensah's report, read to you.
Now, the Northern Regional Police Commander, ACP Wisdom Lawe, has revealed that Tamale is increasingly becoming a major transit point for arms and illicit drugs, attributing the proliferation of arms in the region to the conflict in Boku. He said despite these security challenges, the police was working effectively in addressing the security challenges. ACP Wisdom Lawe disclosed this during a meeting when the Interior Minister, Mohammed Muntaka, paid a working visit to the northern region.
The Prime Minister spent nearly a week in the northern region engaging with various stakeholders, including chief security agencies and religious groups. During his visit, the minister also commissioned several government projects in the area. At a meeting with the police in Tamale, the Northern Regional Police Commander, ACP Wisdom Lawe, also expressed concern over the lack of trust between the people and the police, which he said is heightening the accumulation of weapons in the area.
The Boku conflict has now assumed a national dimension, and Northern region is not an exception, considering its strategic location and link to the 5 northern regions. Tamale is turning into a main transit point for arms and illicit drugs, and a haven for intentionally displaced persons from Boku. However, with a swift response and professionalism of my men, these aforementioned security challenges and threats are being dealt with. Public perception about police in the northern region. Citizens do not see police to be closer to them enough and feel their security cannot be guaranteed by the police. This mistrust is leading to weaponization of the citizens across every household who feels the need to defend themselves.
The Interior Minister, Mutaka Mohammed Mubarak, responding to the police commander's concerns, assured that the ministry will do everything possible to ensure the security and safety of communities in the region.
Some of the security challenges that the regional commander have mentioned, we can assure you that we will do whatever it takes to make sure that you remain safe, to be able to keep the communities also safe. And there was this issue about Zabzugu, when it requires some kind of specialized team, just to make it a little easier for you, we brought some personnel from Accra just to hold up so that it doesn't overstretch you.
The minister revealed that plans are underway to launch the 24-hour economy, which is likely to increase the workload of the police. To address this challenge, the ministry plans to recruit 12,000 youth trained as community police.
Start our 24-hour economy, and that may bring additional toll on you. It is because of that that we have partnered the Youth Employment Authority to train young men and women, to bring us 12,000 men and women that will be trained by the police administration to augment the work that you are doing to support you so that at least we are able to support the 24-hour economy.
Earlier, the minister met with religious leaders in the northern region, urging them to unite in protecting the country's peace.
Not only the Christian groups, but even the Muslim groups, how to try to put their differences and see that even in our diversity, we can still work together for the same.
I don't think you are in competition with each other. That's why you have understood that, and that's why you're able to come together.
Now, the executive director of the Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development, Ben-Guri, has underscored the important role played by the country's universities. He emphasized that in order to formulate well-crafted policies that can drive national development and improve the lives of citizens, universities had to be involved as they served as the country's knowledge hubs. Mr. Guri noted that SICORD, as the group is called, had been collaborating with several universities to incorporate indigenous knowledge systems into their academic programs, an initiative he described as largely successful. He made these remarks during a meeting with the Vice Chancellor of the SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies in WA. There's more in this report.
The meeting between the Executive Director of non-profit organization Center for Indigenous Knowledge and Organizational Development, SICORD, Ben-Guri, and the Vice Chancellor of the Simon Diedon Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, Professor Emmanuel Kanchibe-Derebele, was in twofold. First is to congratulate Professor Emmanuel Kanchibe-Derebele, who in the past worked as a pioneer volunteer regional coordinator for SICORD, but has now been elevated to the position of the Vice Chancellor after having served earlier as the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the university. Next was to take My Food is African campaign to the university, which aims at boosting consumption of local foods. The initiative is part of transforming the African food systems to sustainability TAPS project, which strives to revive the practice of eating indigenous foods. The project was successfully launched last year in the one municipality, with 6 basic schools competed for the Best Ambassador Food Campaigner of the Year. The Deputy Executive Director of SICORD, Daniel Bonoko, noted that the success of the project was largely attributed to the role played by students from universities working as interns at SICORD, who they made plans to further roll out in the country's universities.
And some of the things that we're already thinking about, for example, having a school garden where they can demonstrate agroecology, create a farmer's market from organic produce from their own sweat, and just to get people to get to love to till the soils. Because today you realize that a lot of people, a lot of youth are getting disconnected from agriculture and our food system in favor of some foreign lifestyles and things like that. So I think being here is to introduce the team and also let you know about the plan to launch this program. The first of it would be within this university. The idea is to scale into Hila Liman University, KNUST, UNAIR, UCC, and have a mass movement of youth for agroecology.
Executive Director of SICORD, Ben-Guri, threw further light on the project.
We recognize that universities are the important point. If you this country, you want to move forward, you don't engage the universities, you cannot move forward in terms of policies. So we're working with the other universities, that's what Dan just mentioned now. We in fact have a Ghana University climate change network comprising Cape Coast University, University of Science and Technology in Kumasi, but also some European universities, Finland and Denmark. So we've come together and we've been working together to see how we can engage universities. We want to see our indigenous knowledge going into the university courses.
Vice Chancellor of SDD Yobets, Professor Emmanuel Kanchibe-Derebele, commended SICORD for the initiative and the progress made over the years, which has bettered the lives of the people.
It is important to commend SICORD for sustaining this window of providing opportunities for student internship programs. We are very grateful that you continue to provide this support. But also to commend our students for the orientation, not just on discourse on sustainable and indigenous development approaches, but action. You know, thinking about creating
a movement, establishing a movement within the university system and a network to network with other universities to promote agroecology, in agriculture development is something that I think gladdens, my heart.
Reporting for Dway News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
And well, from WA, we come right back to Kukum Limle in our studios where we'll be serving you sports in just a bit. Do stay.